Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 21st of March, comes to you from London, and it's the equinox, equal nights. Every day on the planet, everywhere on the planet, the day is the same length today. So we start by looking at the dollar index rising higher on the longer term charts, but just has been bearish on the shorter term charts. Remembering this is my weekly, my daily, and my 60-minute chart. And I record Charts Today every morning, and it goes out on chartstoday.com, so you can watch it at any time. It only takes me a few minutes to do. I'm running the Updata system, and I'm running here on Refinitiv Icon. Of course, with Updata, you can run on lots of different data services on top of, so it's a great way of just being able to run through the markets, looking at this longer term, medium term, and shorter term trend with the corresponding point and figure charts. So looking at the euro, we're seeing, of course, it's still bearish longer and medium term, but shorter term we have had a better few days, so looking a bit better there. Sterling sitting at 131.5, and if we look at euro sterling, the sterling has been above that 120, hitting 6-year highs, but is just now falling back. Bitcoin's just holding that $40,000 mark, just finding long-term cloud support. Remembering, if we're above the cloud, we're bullish. If we're below the cloud, we're bearish. So that's really what we're looking for. US markets actually managed to close higher last week. We had that weekly candle there, and on Friday we got through triple witching, which is the index options, index and futures expiries all lining up on the third Thursday of the final month of the quarter. We did get through that, so the market actually has had a little bit of a bounce. So we're looking shorter term a bit better, but we do still have these longer term targets hanging over us, and they're not going away until we make new highs to deactivate them. Looking at the futures, we're down slightly today. The VIX volatility is actually back in the 20s, so the market is less fearful. Above 30 we're fearful, below 30 we're less fearful, and so we're seeing that there. If we look at the FTSE future, we're up 0.5% there, to quite key there, and the DAX in Germany actually down 0.7%. The DAX has to get back above this 15,000 mark to be meaningful. So looking at Japan, we're actually up there, but we were down in Hong Kong. China was actually up, so we're seeing a real mixed picture in stocks globally, but we have, remember, fallen off these highs. None of these markets are making new highs, and that is hanging over us, unlikely to. Brent crude is actually up 3.5%, and we'll look at the energy mix in a minute, but looking at some soft commodities, we've got sugar down 0.5%. Wheat is pulling back 1.4% lower, but really the key thing now is we've got this range that we're trading in, roughly, it's quite a big range really, just over 1,000 up to 1450, so that's going to be quite key. We have activated these downside targets, but of course after this jump, if we make new highs, that will be bullish, so that's one to watch, and we will be covering that in our monthly report to clients at the end of this week. Corn is down 0.5%. Gold is sitting at 1931, still looking very bullish on the medium and longer term charts, and just transitioning to bullish. So we probably found the floor around $1,900, and we've got these big upside targets. 2,400 is the one to aim for there. Platinum and palladium up. Palladium is up 2.3% again this morning, looking pretty strong above the clouds, remembering that Russia accounts for 1/3 of palladium production. We had interest rate rises in the UK and the US last week, and we're sitting at 219. That was the target that was given on the chart, so that's where we're sitting at the moment. The outlook for bond yields and interest rates is to go higher still, of course, and so that's quite key. Looking at the energy mix now, we've got Brent crude up 3.5%. We are in recovery mode here. We've got some pretty big targets, 122, 129 on the 60-minute chart. The daily chart, we will get a new target on this thrust, so that's going to be quite key. And of course, the shorter term 1-minute chart, if you're trading crude oil, that's the one to watch. US gas is up 1.2%. We do have targets higher. Those have kicked in this morning, so that's looking a little bit better. A triangle breakout looking quite likely there. And of course, we have put our report out this morning to clients, so you can actually see we were newly bullish on US gas. We're actually bearish on European gas, and we'll come back to that, and emissions. So you can look at those reports in your news and Updata. Taking a look now at the other markets, we've got coal down 3.5%. That is actually looking, we covered this in our weekly report, that is actually looking a little bit more bearish there, so that's quite key. And looking at emissions, we are seeing here this recovery just stalling at 80 euros. So again, we do have upside targets, but we've got a few new ones creeping in. If you're trading carbon, these 1 minute point and figure charts are absolutely vital. Gas prices are down slightly this morning. We were bearish on the chart. We're below the cloud. We've got downside targets, but we are seeing a little bit of a recovery. Be very interesting to see where gas prices find the floor. I'd say that if we see a close below 100 on TTF, that is probably going to be quite bearish for the price. 100 level is becoming quite critical. MBP is down slightly as well, seeing a little bit of recovery again this morning. Watch these on your OTC charts. And German power also is up this morning, but below the cloud. We've got some new upside targets kicking in, and we were neutral on power prices this morning. We can see that in the report. Looking just at the new OTC global holdings data that's now included as standard with Updata Enterprise and Professional editions for our energy clients, we're seeing this looking across the whole of the power markets in Europe. Most markets falling last week. And so we are just seeing that fall back. Gas prices from all the gas prices hubs were falling back. Eastern European markets falling back in price. Greece being the exception. We saw Greece just, it was still down on the week, but it actually managed to move a little bit higher on Friday in the pricing. But overall, we are seeing pricing pressures coming off. And it's slightly worrying that we are getting a bit desensitized to the war in Ukraine and what's going on there, remembering that the people of Ukraine are really still suffering. I'm wearing my sunflower, which is the national flower of Ukraine, and we're not out of the woods yet. This war looks like it's going to go on for quite some time, and whilst we're seeing some respite in gas and power prices right now, the longer term picture is still one of being pretty bullish above the cloud. If we look at German power, for example, that is still a rising trend, short term bearish, but long term bullish, medium and long term bullish. So this is still going to impact us, and keep an eye on these reports. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.